Hi everyone, James here from F9 and welcome to F9 Drumtrax Volume 5, covering all of the current forms of percussive house. We're talking Afro house, organic house, and all of the things in between. I've loved watching these genres develop over the last few years because the melody is back and the emotion. And it reminds me of some of the times when house music first started. And let me just say, we've actually delivered here effectively 2 sample packs in one. Once I started working on the audio demos, I realized they were starting to become incredibly inspiring. And I thought, well, what's the point of the additional music that goes along with these drum productions sitting on a hard drive? So we've included all of it on a separate zip. In fact, this is the biggest amount of value that you're going to see in these percussive styles anywhere in the sample industry. In previous Drumtrax releases, we built out full DAW arrangements covering Ableton, Logic, and for the first 2, Steinberg and Studio One. But we had a problem. As all of the updates came along for all of these different pieces of software, it was almost impossible to keep up. So to solve this, we decided to do what we did in F9 Starlight, and that is consolidate everything into WAV stems, get it incredibly organized so that any DAW user can actually grab hold of the same information, easily import it, organize it to within an inch of its life so that it's just so easy for you guys to use. And then, instead of 8 separate Drumtrax projects, we doubled it in this release to 16. And then we took another leaf out of Starlight's book and decided to take all of these stems into an external studio to mix, and we found a cracker. This entire pack is mixed on one of the last hand-wired Neve consoles in existence, the Neve 8068. And it's a monster of a console too. Located in Salvation Studios in West Brighton, the studio, an incredible complex by the way, was literally designed around this desk. And it gave us the ability to really add some of that desk mojo and grunt and power into all of the stems that we were putting down. Also gave us incredible access to some outboard. Let me give you an example of some of the chains we were able to pull on this. All of the kick drums for this pack went through dual mastering grade Paultec EQs, but also we pulled up a parallel channel going through an original DBX 160 and an API 2500, so we could engineer some of that modern punch back into it. And having all of this passing through a transformer and inductor-laden desk like an 8068 just took it to another level. And you can hear all of this on the product page in this playlist that allows you just to skip through all of the different sets. If you've been a customer of F9 before, you know we love our sound menus. So every single individual hit we could muster has been chopped out and turned into sound menu patches, including those stunning kicks, which I must say are just inspirational in themselves. And we've turned them into all of the sampler formats that we are now famous for. So we're talking full Logic patches with macro controls at the bottom, Ableton live racks, an MPC expansion, as well as an expansion for Hallian Sonic, the new version that is totally free from Steinberg, as well as Contact. Also, wherever possible, we've added all of the loops as a loop menu, and they are tempo synchronized. So you can play them in from a MIDI keyboard and they will sync to the tempo of your project. This is available in Logic, in Ableton, in Contact, and Hallian Sonic, which again, as I've said, is a free VST, which means it is usable by all DAWs. Whilst running all of the stems out for this pack, we built in quite a decent amount of headroom. So that means when they go in, they're not going to be swamping your DAW. There's plenty of room for your key parts, your synth parts, your bass parts, etc., etc. And hopefully they'll give you an excellent future reference for how things should be hitting your master chain in a standard working environment. But now for the second half of this story. It became apparent really early on when we were putting together the audio demos just how inspiring all of these stem sets were. And in fact, we completed 8 full audio demos. But instead of just leaving them on the hard drives here, we thought, why not give them to you guys? So we rounded everything up, re-stemmed everything out, chopped up a whole new collection of loops, and rounded up every single MIDI part we could find from the production process. That is available in the 3rd zip file that comes with this release. Now, just a couple of notes. When you actually go to the WeTransfer page to download this, please click on the individual small arrows here on the left. Sometimes, and particularly on Macs, if you just hit the big button, WeTransfer creates a zip file in the background containing everything, and that can't often be opened. So always download from the individual little arrows next to the file names. There is a really interesting and clever use of these stem sets. If you dump them into a DAW and then bounce them down as you are, you will have a stereo reference file showing you how a really solid modern club production should sound before it hits final stage limiters. I cannot tell you how useful it is to have something like this as a reference point whilst you're working, because 9 times out of 10 in your reference software, you're probably using fully mastered tracks. Well, limiters and final stage compression can really change the frequency content, and you have to know how things are going to sound before they hit limiters. If you love this style of music, we do have a wonderful set of instruments coming for all styles of melodic music that need these deep, warm, organic sounding keyboards, synths, and basses. Thank you so much for watching. We truly hope you absolutely love this pack as much as we enjoyed making it, and we'll see you all next time.